All right, smaller group. I love it. I love it. Guys, what I want to do today is I'm just going to go over some information for AP testing. Hopefully you guys will have last at least 5-10 minutes at the end to take care of business if you need to go. Check in with the teacher or hang out with your friends last 10 minutes. It's just a lot of information that I want to make sure that students know and they have this information for AP testing. First of all, one of the major reasons why I have the list outside, and if you didn't have a chance to check in, that's not a problem. You guys can check in at any time the rest of this week. During lunches, I'll have them out there while I'm giving a presentation in here. You can always just find your name and put your initials next to your name. The reason why I'm having you check your name, next to your name, there's two major things that you should be looking for. Obviously not your name, but next to your name is an email address that I will be sending information about your AP test. In other words, the night before every exam that you take, if you take one exam or 4 exams, I will send you an email saying your exam will be at USG Building 2, room 3410, okay? So what that means is that you'll get that information ahead of time. That email address is what I'm going to send it to. Where did I get that email address? That is the email address that each and every one of you put in your AP account. Now, I know some of you, your mom and dad, opened the account with you, and they might have put their email address in there. Well, guess who's going to get the notification of where to report? Whoever's email address that is. So if it's mom and dad's, they're going to get that information. If it's an email address that no longer exists, or you don't even look at it anymore, you need to go back to your AP account and put the correct or one that you check all the time. It can be your student ID or your account. We try not to put that in there if you have a Gmail account or a Comcast account. We ask that you put that in there because especially for seniors, once you guys leave, your MCPS account is no longer accessible. They usually wait 30 days after you graduate. So if you want to get your AP scores, if you're a senior, you can't get it through your school account, but the rest of you can. So again, if you're not a senior, you don't need to worry about it. You can put your school account in there. And then the last thing on that sheet out there next to your name, other than your email address that I'll be communicating with you, is the second thing. The exams in which you're signed up for. Please look at it. I've already had 5 students yesterday and had 3 students on Monday who said, Mr. Mamana, I was signed up for AP Psychology. It's not here. Well, I don't sign you up. Students are supposed to sign up for their exams through a join code with their teachers. You guys might have forgot about this, but you did this back in September because there was a due date by November. So double check, because this week, this Friday, is the last day that I can make an exception to an adding an AP exam. So the 3 on Monday and the 5 yesterday, I ordered all 8 of them. Yes, there's a $40 late fee, but they, for whatever reason, weren't signed up for the exams. So that's the other reason why this week I'm making sure that you are signed up for the AP exams that you're supposed to. Someone also said, and you can talk to me later about it, they said, Mr. Merman, I signed up for these 4 AP exams. I found out the colleges that I'm going to, it was a senior, they only accept 2 of them, the other 3 they don't. I don't want to take the other 3. What can I do? Let me know, I'll cancel them. You can get a refund for your exam. It's not a full refund. If you pay $96, I can get you got to pay $40 for a cancellation fee, but I can get you the rest to be refunded. So if that's the case, let me know. So that's the whole purpose of you guys signing in and getting that information correct. One, yeah, you're here, but the other major thing is checking that you guys have the correct email address, because I'm going to send that information out to you, as well as the actual exams that you're signed up for. This is, everybody should have the testing schedule. Does everybody have that testing schedule you picked up on the table out there? This is the testing schedule. If you didn't, there's some that are out there. There's two things. One has got the testing schedule on one side. The other side has a map of USG, and I'm going to go over that. Do me a favor. I know you guys are all digitally inclined. This piece of paper will probably be lost or thrown away or tucked somewhere. Take a picture of it with your phones right now. This is the exam schedule. It's subject to change, but it's probably 98% correct. Now, everybody needs to know that the exams that are given on these days and these days only and at the same time. For example, if you look up at the top, Tuesday, May 3rd, Environmental Science, the exam has to start at 8 o'clock. Everybody in the United States is taking this exam at the same exact time. We cannot offer it or take it at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. Okay? We have to start it at 8 o'clock or as close as 8 o'clock, so everybody else across the United States are taking it at the same time. Okay? So this will not change. All right? That's why I want you guys to make sure. The other thing is, on this schedule, it has, after each exam, a parentheses, and it usually has a USG. That means that the exam will be at USG or at Wootton, WHS, Wootton High School. So that's just a reminder to you that that's where the two locations are that we will be giving these tests at. Okay? Just know that because somebody asked, why do we use USG? The reason why we use USG is because we're given 3,000 exams. We would have a third, at least a quarter of this building that you would not be able to have classes in throughout the school, because we would need 10 to 15 classes in the morning and just as many in the afternoon for the testing. So that's why we use USG, okay? University of Shady Grove, okay? Talked about the schedule. This is what you guys will go by. On the back, this tells you a little bit about the campus. Anybody in here been to USG? Couple people? If you haven't, what's really good, guys, it's right up the street, 3 miles from here. If you're around for spring break, just go check out the campus. Do you know how long it would take you to walk the campus? 5 minutes. It's a very small campus. If you don't know where I'm talking about, if you guys go all the way down the end of Wootton Parkway, you come to a light that's called Darnestown Road. You make a left, and it's like you're going to Shady Grove Hospital. There's Shady Grove Road right there. There's a firehouse on the corner, and then on the other corner, there's this big building. It's actually a parking garage that has this big TV screen on it. That's USG right there. That's where you're going to turn to go to USG. There's 2 ways to get into the entrance, but just know that there's an area for parents to drop students off at. That area is right by Building 3. Now, what's really cool is it's a small campus, and there's 4 buildings. We're only going to be using 3 of them, Building 1, 2, and 3. Now, the walk from Building 1 to Building 2 is like walking from here to the cafeteria. That's how close they are, okay? It's not far at all. Some of you might have a morning exam in one building, and then you have an afternoon exam in another building. Don't worry about it. You can just walk right across the campus. You'll be able to get there in less than probably 5 minutes, okay? So I would be familiar with the buildings that are on this map. Now, this gets into 2 things, especially for the underclassmen. You guys aren't driving, and some of you might not have friends who drive. A lot of the juniors and seniors, they have their driver's license, or they have somebody that they can catch a ride with. So that means that there's going to be a lot of carpooling with parents. Unfortunately, we don't have bus service that can take you from here to USG and from USG and back. That's the responsibility of all students to do that. I would ask that you start talking to students in your classes. For example, in your NSL classes, it's usually predominantly a 10th grade class. You guys don't have your driver's license, and say, hey, look, my dad can get us there in the morning. He can drop us off at 7 o'clock in the morning because we got to be there at 7. He can drop us, the 4 of us, off on the way to work. Can your mom or dad take us or pick us up after the exam? Also, some of the students will decide to maybe do lunch. You know, there's a lot of places in which you can eat lunch afterwards. The way the policy works, and again, some of the juniors and seniors know this from pre-COVID, but a lot of the freshmen and sophomore, this is the first time you're taking the AP exam here. The day in which you are taking the AP exam, you are excused from all classes, okay? So again, I'll give you an example. If you look at on Friday, May 6th, if I have a European history exam in the morning, after the exam, I'm done at 12 o'clock. Do I have to come back to school and go to my afternoon classes? No, you're excused for the rest of the day. Well, what can I do? Well, you can go have lunch, okay? There's a lot of places to go and have lunch, or you can go home, but you are not required to come back to school. I will put in every day everybody's attendance who is at the AP exams being excused the whole day. So let's look at that Friday. I have an art history class at 12 o'clock. Well, Mr. Mamana, that's at 12 o'clock. Do I have to go to my morning classes? No, you don't. Well, what can I do? Well, you can sleep in. You get some last minute studying in. But that day, if you're taking an afternoon exam, you are excused from your morning classes, and vice versa. If you have a morning exam, your afternoon. Just know, and your teachers, whatever they're doing in the classrooms, will allow you to make it up just like you were going to make it up if you were out sick. So again, that's why I want you guys to start thinking about not only rides but also what you're going to do with your time, okay? If you notice, there's a lot of things that we need to do before you guys get into the testing. I want everybody at your testing location a half an hour ahead of time, okay? So, and we try to get students here early. We know that class starts at 7:45. And I would say that 90% of the students at Wootton High School, out of 2,000 students, we usually have about 1,800 students that get here from 7 o'clock to like 7:40. And then those last 200 come in at the last couple minutes. You're really going to need to watch that for AP testing. Because at 8 o'clock, remember what Mr. Mamana said? At 8 o'clock, everybody in the United States is supposed to be starting the test. If it's 8:01, 8:05, that's fine. But it can't be 8:30. So if you're not at the test by 8:03, 8:05, we're starting the test. If you walk in and say, hey, I'm here, you're done. You've missed the exam. It's sort of like SATs. If you miss that window, you've missed the exam. And I really don't want your parents to pay $96 for an exam that you didn't get to. Now, if you're sick or there's an emergency, you just need to send me an email, talk to me. We can set something up called a makeup day. But I have to have an excused note. College Board will charge me for any makeup day. I just don't make up days. So I'm just letting you know, I just need some documentation. I'll work with you on that. But usually 99% of the students take the exams on the scheduled time. I want you to be in the location a half an hour ahead of time. And what we do is we have what we call a staging area. There's 2 staging areas. There's one at USG. It's in building 3. It's called the cafeteria. You guys go into building 3 and you just ask where the cafeteria is. It's probably like walking from the entrance here at the auditorium, and by the time you get to the commons, that's how far it is, okay? So again, it's not a huge building, it's not a huge campus. Go to building 3, go to the cafeteria, you'll wait. I will dismiss you, or someone from Wootton will dismiss you from the cafeteria to your rooms. I have 10 or 15 rooms every day that we have teachers going to bring in the materials to, setting things up. They call me on the radio and say, hey, room 3410 is ready. I say, okay, everybody from A to C, last name for environmental science, you can go to room 3410. They go. Next room, next room. So I'm hoping that starting at around 7:35, 7:40, you guys can start getting into your rooms. You guys can start your answer sheets. So by 8 o'clock, you guys are starting, okay? It's the same thing for 12 o'clock. I need you guys there at 11:30. I will dismiss you as soon as the rooms are ready, and then you guys go directly to the class. And then right at 12 o'clock, they start. What's really cool is if everybody in that room is there, they can start a couple minutes before the 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock, okay? So these are the things to bring. Oh, and before I forget, there's a staging area for Wootton. There are exams that are going to be here at Wootton. The staging area is the auditorium right outside. So if you're taking an exam here at Wootton, you will come to the staging area, which is the lobby here in the auditorium. You will check in, and as soon as the rooms are ready, we will dismiss you. A lot of the places that we're testing here in this building are right where you're sitting right now. This is one of the biggest rooms that we're testing here when we're testing at Wootton. Any student who has accommodation, again, I'm going to say this, any student has accommodation. That means a student that might have a computer access, meaning instead of writing the essays, they can write it in the computer, extended time or extended breaks. You will have your exams here. This is the location. So anybody, no matter where the test says on that schedule, if you have an accommodation, all accommodated students will be taking their test here at Wootton. You will go to the staging area, boom, which is right outside there, which is the common, the auditorium lobby, and then we'll dismiss you to your section, okay, where you're going to have your test. Most of the accommodated students are in very small settings. They're in the counseling suite, but we'll tell you where those rooms are. You should only bring certain materials with you, okay? You should bring paper? No. I'll make sure you have paper, okay? Should I bring something to drink, something to eat? You can bring a snack. Please don't bring a full lunch, because you're not going to have time to eat a full lunch. But to have a bottle of water with you that you can have during the testing, you know, a couple granola bars, power bar, snacks, that's fine, okay? So I went through that. Please don't bring backpacks. It's sort of like your classrooms now. When the teachers, you know, say, okay, we're going to take a test, everybody puts their backpack in the front of the room. You can't walk. Well, the college rooms, as well as the rooms here, we don't want that to be an issue. If you need to bring some materials, like you're bringing a snack, bring it in what we call a cinch bag. You know, the string bags, something that's small. So if I put 10 of them next to each other, it's fine. But if I put 10 backpacks together, you can't walk. We will ask you guys, when you come in, you're going to give the proctor your name. You need to have an ID. Someone said, well, Mr. Mamana, I don't have a school ID. I never got a school ID. It's okay. If you have a school ID from 9th grade, 10th, 11th, or 12th grade, you can use any one of those IDs. I need a picture ID. Someone said, well, I don't have one. Do you have one from middle school? Yeah, I got one from middle school. Does it look anything like you? Yeah, it does. Well, you can use that. The reason why is I've got a lot of proctors that are not teachers here. They're college students that are proctoring for us. I have some parents that are helping us. They don't know whether you're a student or not. The only way they can verify that is with a student ID. So you need to have a student ID. It could be or any ID with a picture on it. It can be a driver's license. It could be a learner's. Hey, you know what? If you got a gym membership and it's got your picture on it and that's the only ID you got, I'll take it. I need to make sure there's something that matches your picture with your name, okay? So Also, you guys know we did the SATs here for several years. We don't want any smartwatches. They don't even want you to bring in Fitbits anymore. So any electronic devices that you go around your wrist, please folks, don't bring them in for testing. We're just going to ask you to take them off. If you keep them on during the testing and they find out during the testing that you have an electronic device, whether it's a smartwatch or something on your wrist, you can be disqualified for your exam. Also, during testing, if anybody is in possession of a phone, you automatically get disqualified. We're not playing any games. Oh, but Mr. Mamana, I forgot. I'm telling you now, when your proctors get there, they're going to tell you, please put your phones over here. They're going to start the directions. It's going to say, if you have a phone, this is the last chance for you to put it away or to bring it up front here. And I say that because in the 8 years that I've been here, unfortunately, I've had 2 students in 8 years, they forgot that they had their cell phone in their pocket, and they pulled it out during the test. Automatic disqualification. And just letting you know, we're not playing any games with that, so please, just make sure those cell phones. I know you guys got to have cell phones because you're working out your ride, where you're going to go after the exam. So I know you need your cell phones, no problem. When they tell you take your cell phone, don't put it on vibrate, don't put it on silent, turn it off, power it down completely. They'll put it in a table, they'll ask you to put it up against the chalkboard, that way it's completely separate. If it goes off, don't go up and get it, that's the proctor will go and silence it. If you go up and grab it and play around with it, you can get a disqualification. Anytime a watch or a clock or something makes a noise, I have to write something up, okay? But it doesn't mean that we're disqualifying the exams. It's a testing violation because it's a distraction. So anybody says, well, why can't we bring watches in? And we don't want beeping going on. We don't want timers. We don't want those things. People are focused on the exam. It's a disruption. Okay? That's why we have that. I will provide scratch paper for you. I talked about the cell phones, talked about the watches, okay? During the testing, I'm going to show you an answer sheet. It's really pretty easy. What's really nice is, since everybody is registered, I have a little sticker that has all your personal information on it. So all you need to do is go through and A through H, and I'll show you, it's just the blue part of every exam you're going to fill out instead of filling out all the other parts of the exam. That could take about 20 minutes to fill that out. But all you need to do is fill out the blue part, and I'll show you that in just a minute. It should take 5 minutes. Put your name in, put the school code in, put the test you're taking, and the date, okay? That's the exam sheet. Do you guys see, hopefully you can see, there's a blue part and then you see the purple part? The purple part takes a long time, but since I've got everybody's sticker on it, you don't need to worry about that. All you're going to do is just do what I said, A through H. You'll fill out that blue part, okay? Now, do you guys see there's 2 things that you need to do, and we need to make sure you get it correct. And this is something that's going to be in the directions, but I always want to point it out to students. If you guys see up at the top, you see the 2 squares, or sort of triangles, I guess, up top there? They're not triangles, are they? Rectangles. Okay, so you see them, right? Okay, just making sure. Those 2 up there need to be filled in with some information. If they don't get filled in, you will not get a test score. And it's very simple. You're going to get a student pack. It's got your name on it. In the student pack, it's got 30 labels. No one in here is taking 30 AP exams. But you'll peel one of those labels out. That is your designated AP number for this year. Okay? So if you're taking 1 exam, you'll put it on 1 exam. If you're taking 2 or 3 exams, you're going to peel 1 off for each exam that you take. I need that student pack back every single day because I need to pull it and make sure that the next test the next day, if you're taking it, I get it to you. Some students have said, well, Mr. Mann, I'll just keep it. It was a nightmare when I let students take it. They never came back with it. They forgot it. And if I have to give you a second number, what it does is it gives you 2 AP numbers, and it gets into a conflict when they grade because they have one name with 2 different numbers. So again, you're going to peel one of those tabs off of the student packet, and it says right up there, that first box, it says from your student packet. Put it in there, done. Then, if you're taking the biology exam, on the exam, there's going to be a little sticker. You pull the sticker off, and you put that on there. I think last year, the biology exam, there was 8 different versions of the biology exam. How do they know which one you're taking? Based upon that code that you peel off. So again, they want to put the answers to answer sheet for version 6 that you have, and then 4 for you and version 3 for you. So it's very important that you make sure that that AP label from your booklet from your exam is there. That's the hardest part. And then you take the exam. So I'm just giving you this. The proctor's going to go through that. This is what your AP pack looks like. Obviously, it's 2017. It's one that I had. But inside there, you'll see that there's a whole bunch of stickies that you can pull off for your exams. Just make sure that at the end, when you turn in your exam, you turn this book back in, because I need it for the next exam that you're taking. Okay? Breaks. Every exam has a part 1 and a part 2. In between the part 1 and part 2, every exam has a 10-minute break. It's not a 30-minute break. But that's where you will have your snack or your drink of water or go to the bathroom. Although you can go to the bathroom, or if you need just a stretch break, you can get up and do the stretch, go out in the hall and come back. But just know that the time does not come back. That's part of the timing, okay? But during the break, that's when, if you need that snack or you need to go to the bathroom, that's a good time to do that, okay? I want to say that if you know anything about USG, as I said, it's small. There are going to be college students. They're taking their exams too. They're taking their final exams right next to high school students taking AP exams here at Wootton. So again, we are guests there. I've never had a problem with behavior there or students being considerate. We just don't want to go out during breaks and be very loud, because we have college students taking their final exams as well with you, okay? I talked about bathroom breaks, talked all about that. I will say, I said that I've been doing this for 8 years since I've been here at Wootton, and I think it's pretty self-explanatory about cheating. I just want to know, there have been some students, unfortunately, that I've caught cheating. I think the first one was a student was wearing Chuck Taylors, and on the insole of the shoe, they had all these formulas written down on the inside of the shoe, and then they turned it like that, and they turned it like this. Okay, I had someone with a little tiny cheat sheet. Had such tiny, I needed a magnifying glass to see it, but it was a cheat sheet. And I had somebody who was wearing a hat, and on the bill of the hat, they had all these answers and questions. I think it was all psychology related about Sigmund Freud and Erik Erikson and their stages and whatnot. And I say that because we're going to be looking for that. And this is a high-stake test that if you get caught cheating, yes, there's consequences here at Wootton like you normally would have. If a teacher catches you cheating, it's a 0 for the exam. But I also have to report it to College Board that you were removed because of academic dishonesty. And I have to give them a full report of what I found. You don't want that to be part of your record with College Board. Okay? So that tells you guys just a little bit about making sure you guys don't bring inappropriate material. I say that because in the past some students have done, and I get it, some last minute cramming. Please don't bring those review guides, review books, or study information with you. If you do, make sure that when the teacher says put your stuff in the front of the room, put it in that cinch bag. Please do not have it underneath your desk or anywhere near you. You don't want somebody to think that you're using it inappropriately. Again, this is what they're going to do afterwards. The proctors are just going to collect the information. The only thing that I just add to it is that they're going to ask for your student pack. Just make sure they get the student pack, and I say that because Every year, students walk out with their student pack because it's not part of the testing material, and that's partially because our proctors forget to get one from every single one of the students because it's not secure material. But just if they forget, just remind them, oh, here, I got to give this to you, okay? They should, it's part of their directions, and they're pretty good at that, but I just don't want you to be the one that we have to give them a second booklet of. This is just a reminder, 8 o'clock everything starts. I need you guys there at 7:30. We talked about the 2 areas in which you need to be in, which is in the auditorium lobby or in the cafeteria. Same thing with the 12 o'clock. I will say that sometimes the morning session goes over, so we're supposed to start the exam at 12 o'clock. We usually get students in there testing for the second exam, usually right around 11:45. But if we get you in right at 12 and we start around 12:05 or so, that's not a problem for you. I just need to do a report on that. So if we're running a little late with maybe one class or another, sometimes that happens. But you just stay in those locations and we'll direct you when those rooms are ready, whether it's here in the lobby or it's in the cafeteria. We'll let you know. We'll say, hey, you know, room 3710 in building 1, they're running a little late, so we'll get you guys in there instead of 11:55. We're going to get you right at 12. When we get you in there, we'll get you started, okay? All right. This is what I will send. Remember I told you guys, this is the last thing, I told you that I'll send you guys the night before the exam schedule. This is what it's going to look like. It'll say, like U.S. history, it'll say the students A through K are, please go to room 134, which is the auditorium in building 1, okay? And then if you're KRB through Z, you're going to go to building 3, and you're going to go to 3241, okay? Now, again, if you forget this, it's not on your phone or anything else, don't worry about it. Because when you go to where? The staging area, they're going to tell you this is the room that you go to. Someone will always be at one of those areas and give you directions, okay? And again, that's the example of environmental science. Now, the students with accommodations, we're all students with accommodations taking their exams. Yes, here at Wootton, you got it. Even though, you see where it says environmental science, they're taking a USG building 1 and 2, but accommodations are here at Wootton. And again, for environmental science, it says that they're in building 3 in the Crockett Theater. All accommodated students are here at Wootton, okay? Anybody have any quick questions? I'm done, quick and easy. This presentation, I'll put it on, I'll give it to your teacher so they can send it to you as well if you forget something or your parents want to see something. But that's all I got. If you didn't have a chance in the back to check your name and check your exams, just do that on your way out. Thank you guys. Have a great day.